Hello, what we have here is an unusually large version of the Wishbass headstock. This belongs to Wishbass number 88 in the peanut body style. And look at that wood and the grain. I bought this used off of eBay, and it came to me still completely stock, and for the most part it is still stock, as it was made by Mr. Wishnewski. I'll be talking about the features of this bass and playing a sample of the sound. I do not represent the views of Wishbass or Steve Wishnewski. These views are my own. This bass is a prime example of why somebody would be extremely dissatisfied out of the workshop with this bass. When it first arrived, it had a bridge that was about twice as tall as this. The bridge was massively tall, and the reason being because there was this quite profound hump on the fretboard that the bridge had to get over. From about the 3rd fret to the 12th fret, the fretboard had this nice rise in it. I never measured it, but it was significant. The funny thing was is that the laminated neck underneath the fretboard was very solid, stable, and straight as an arrow. So it wasn't the neck that was bowed or defective. It was simply a poor finish on the fretboard. This bass has the Kent Armstrong humbucker, as originally installed by Steve Wishnewski. The wood body wings are one piece. They're not a laminate, as a lot of his basses are. They're one piece, and a real interesting figuring on the wood here. The neck is a laminate of 7 woods, 5 very thin laminates in the middle, which I'm not used to seeing. Again, this is number 88. This is an early Wishbass. I can't tell. There's definitely some maple in the neck and maybe some purple heart. Hard to say exactly. And 4-string with, I don't know, the IP, one of his American hardwood fingerboards. So when I first got this bass, when it first arrived, it was bathed in menthol cigarette smoke. So the original Wishbass spray on finish had this goopy, tacky cigarette stink all over it. It was pretty astounding. And this was the first time in refinishing Wishbass that I actually used a chemical stripper to get everything off, because I couldn't imagine sanding all that and putting all those particles into the air. So I stripped it, and I'm quite taken with the wood, the figuring and the grain on the wood, and I couldn't tell what it was off by looking at it. So I emailed Wishnewski, and he told me he remembered this piece of wood quite specifically. He said in his email that one day a strange man showed up at his door holding a very odd, heavy piece of cherry wood, which turned into this bass. It also has a nice contour to it, nice shaping. I don't know if that was as a result of the original piece of wood or just the design, but it has a very nice body contour and very pretty figuring. So when I got this bass, I stripped it, sanded it, and proceeded to try and level out the massive fretboard hump on my own. And I actually got it to the point, and of course I installed a shorter bridge. I actually got it to the point where it would play reasonably well on all the frets but the very first fret. And at that point I decided to give up. And I visited my local luthier, friend of Friendster Guitars. And not only did he do a supreme job of leveling the fretboard, but we talked about it, and I had him put an epoxy coating on this. I don't know if you can see the glare and the reflection of the epoxy, but this has been coated with epoxy for a nice, hard, shiny, smooth finish. It changes the tone a little bit in the feel of the bass. And I just thought I'd try it for something different. Again, this bass was sanded smooth on the body, and it had a hand rub tongue oil finish applied. The other thing, aside from the ginormous head stack, this bass, when it arrived, had undoubtedly the thickest neck I'd ever seen on a Wishbass. What you're looking at here is the result of about a 20 to 25% reduction in the overall mass of this neck. I ended up purchasing a spoke shave. Spoke shave is a handheld planer for curved surfaces, and I proceeded to pull down literally about 20-25% of this neck, and then of course finished it off sanding and hand rub tongue oil. Aside from the work that was done on the neck and the refinishing, this bass is totally stock. Kent Armstrong humbucker, very nice high output pickup that I enjoy the sound of, passive. The aluminum cover has just one volume and the output jack, and I went ahead and purchased a veneer, cherry wood veneer, that doesn't match precisely, but is close, and I coated the aluminum cover with the cherry wood veneer to give a complete wood appearance to the front. So again, this is the kind of bass that if you're going to buy a Wishbass and expected it to be supremely playable and enjoyable right from the workshop, this particular bass, number 88, would have been a huge disappointment. Playing it was a very odd experience with the neck the way it was when I first got it. And being number 88, it's at least 4, 5, 6 years old, and I can't believe that the original owner never did anything with the neck, but they didn't. If the original owner ever sees this video, know now that this neck is smooth and fast and facile. But it didn't get there without some work and some elbow grease. The final thing I wanted to make perfectly clear is that, like all my other Wishbasses, and this is the 5th Wishbase I acquired, after the work to correct what I see as superficial flaws, because the infrastructure of this instrument is quite sound. The neck is phenomenally stable and easy to play, and the electronics are good. After the correction of the fretboard, the superficial problems, again, I feel like I ended up with a phenomenal, playable, attractive, really sweet sounding, and unusual bass guitar that you can't quite replicate outside the world of Wishbase. So yes, it had its problems, but like all of them, it was a diamond in the rough. And the results for me, and since I'm the owner of this bass, that's really all that matters, are the results to me. I'm quite happy. Peanut, Cherrywood, number 88.